brothers and sisters, generals, family, those who've been riding along with the brother, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you and thank you. And that's my family too. You know I like to rhyme. And we just got to stay inspired in this life and man, and fight these so-called battles that come at us, internal, external, especially those who are aware. We know, the battles we may anticipate and battles we have, you know, some of us, different walks, different strokes, different folks, things we have battled with from the past, stuff like that, and a lot of us have conquered a lot of those skeletons in the closet, so to speak, and we keep thriving and, some worse than others. But be thankful if we get to a space and, where we have peace. And, I always call down that great protection for ourselves, from ourselves, for all our families, our children, and great divine watch over the parents that have children in schools. They have to work every day and, come into their heart and their spirit and keep them focused and keep their eye on the sparrow. And the little advice I like to give, if you busy, male, female, brother or sister, you have a child in school or, as I always say, daycare or anything of that nature, check in on them once a week. Don't forget about it. Don't just drop them off and, and leave total full responsibility to a faculty and or teacher. We all have to be involved, they say it takes a village. That's more than just a saying. It does, but we have to have the right individuals in that village. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that it's like that, that you do have to, that word that's been in my spirit lately. And we hear from many great brothers and sisters, that good old word vet. It's unfortunate. We have to do that, but we have to keep ourselves, we have to make sure we right as an individual, of course, keep ourselves straight. So we can be in this space. We'll be aware of things that's not good for us, whether it come through person, place, or thing. But most of the time, as most of us know, evil things can come through a person, especially if they're not aware of themselves and not paying attention to their inner behaviors that can lead to toxic outer behavior. So we do have to be careful of that. But be thankful. The power of thankfulness is which we'll speak on, is what's in my title. Be thankful for those that's in our families and that are not in our families, but are like family. You know what I mean? That have good intentions deep within, because it's becoming a rarity, but to have integrity and to really live it and have it embedded deep within, we have to practice it and don't put ourselves in situations where our integrity will be challenged. Now, most of us that have been on this planet for a while and have studied, read, and have maybe street knowledge or education, and you've intertwined the two, and you become wise from education, life, or our own life experiences. As many of us great teachers say, brother or sister, life is the best teacher. Experiences is the best teacher if we're listening and learning from them, and not repeating the same toxic cycle that we have been repeating all our lives. As we all say, I say, and we'll hear time and time again, can't keep doing the same thing that's toxic and expect a different result. We hear that a lot, but when you get wise, up in age or levels of self-awareness, you'll know this to be true, because when we get 50, as my son and I, Lord Lamont, which will be here today, and we were supposed to do a father and son discussion yesterday because we normally do them on Fridays, but he'll be here today because I had a little problem. We did do a father and son discussion, but I couldn't get it uploaded. I had some problems with it. I won't get into it. Maybe I'll save it for that. And that'll be later on today. And he's probably in commute on his way over here now. So I'm thankful for that my son has the endurance, that real God gave him the endurance and the strength to stay strong in his life, because my son, Lord Lamont, and I'm sure all my children have all had their little battles. That's my godchildren, my biological children. And, it runs in my family. We just have that strong DNA. We overcome things. Now, there have been disagreements in the family. My whole family hasn't been perfect and all that, but I just thank that great divine that it put that responsibility in us. And when it's time to take care of our shit, so to speak, we take care of it. I just put it like that, through the mix of the challenges of the family, which a lot of families have. But be thankful for the good things in our family. Again, the power of thankfulness. This is the kind of stuff my son and I, Lord Lamont, talk about. And as I say, I really do know, and I'm thankful for the saying that I come across in this life. You come across a lot of great brothers and sisters, in the world, online. Just be thankful of the ones we learn from, that drop jewels that stick with us forever. That's the most wonderful thing in the world. It really is, so, and that's what this whole podcast is about, the power of thankfulness. When we just get over the superficial things and bring ourselves back, because I'm not perfect. Again, a lot of things I say and my son Lord Lamont say, and of course we don't think we're perfect, but we just think of things that we're thankful for because it centers us. It keeps us from getting lost in this world of materialism and stuff like that, and just being thankful that we're alive, for one. Because my saying I used to say, if we're alive and breathing, we are back to conquer another day, another year, another decade. I used to always start out podcasts like that because that's true, man. If it's nothing too bad now, I'm not talking about something, causing someone's demise, or it's really toxic and terrible and it's criminalistic. Not that. I'm talking about just a human error, something that we can change. That's what we focus on, and we stay on it. We practice, we read, we connect with like-minded family members or brothers and sisters, whether we see them in person or we happen to see a powerful individual online, brother or sister. You be thankful for individuals you run across like that, because, man, realism, knowledge is the best commodity, man. Knowing things and being aware, of oneself, and, maybe learning behaviors of children and stuff like that. Those are very valuable things to know. Being a student of human nature and staying a student of human nature, and that's for me too, and not getting too high in our horse, staying at we rise level, because the levels never stop. Of course, we always grow and elevate, but maintaining that student spirit. I always talk about, you hear me say from time to time, we're leaders and teachers with a student spirit. And that's for me too. That's to remind myself, because just think of it. Center ourselves, brothers and sisters, the power of thankfulness. Think of all the great fires that we have made it through and we still standing. And, and be mindful of those that, that tried hard, and some transitioned at a young age and some that didn't make it there. Think about them too, and we carry that energy, and we leave the world better than it was when we came in it. And that's not just my saying. We've heard that from a lot of people, and that's something I'm learning too on this journey to, I always say we learn from a teacher, we feel good from a preacher, and depending on the preacher it is. But I'm telling you, what the things that impact me the most, whether it's from my mom or my dad, may he rest in peace and in power, or my grandparents, may they rest in peace and in power, anyone in our families that transition, just think of the things that we learned from them, and still with us today. And some of us have had people in our families that transitioned decades ago, and we still remember the things we learned from them. So that's the things that's what brought me to the power of thankfulness. It centers us, and being thankful for the simple things in life. That's what we got to get back to, the simple things in life. Like my son coming over here, and us connecting. And I was going to speak on that a minute ago. But yeah, you just got to be thankful of reconnecting with our youth. Now, I always reiterate that I have 2 daughters and a son that I haven't spoken to or seen in a while, and that's a chapter that I will have to deal with, and I always bring it up, and maybe my son will talk about it, but I know that's where the art of anticipation comes in. I know that time is going to come where I'm going to have to, talk to them and deal with that situation. So I am aware of it. So that's why I bring them up every now and then, because I don't ever want to come off like, I've been this perfect person my whole life and the best dad and all that. And my only thing is I didn't spend enough time with my children, back when I, just, back when, when you're not aware, when you're just not aware of yourself and things, you tend to not be responsible. So that's just what I'm saying, so it just wasn't, I was in their lives, but not along a lot like I should have been, so I bring that up every now and then. So again, that's why I give advice. So others, other dads or moms or, get advice from me or my son, Lord Lamont, because he's of the younger generation. But again, like I said, he got the best of both worlds because he was born way before the social media age. And he also got a chance to experience some of the old, like the 80s. I say he knows a little bit from the 80s to the 90s in that era, somewhere around there. I ain't done the math, but let's just say my son, Lord Lamont, is able to know a little bit of the old school and the new school. So he was born in a pretty good era. And I always said the 70s, I say from the 60s through the 70s, before I say 60s through the 70s, 75, somewhere around that era. I think that was a good era. It was a lot of good brothers and sisters. A lot of generals came out of that era. So that's what leads me to the power of thankfulness. Because when I say this topic, when I say these things, I'm thinking of everybody, my family and brothers and sisters we came across. We got to do that sometimes. It's like an update. I used to say we got to keep an internal invoice on oneself and life, family, everything, because again, we as parents, fathers, mothers, heads of households and, single moms, single dads, we can get wrapped up in this life and keep going and going and going. And we got to stop and just meditate and be thankful, that we're alive, those that we care about alive, our children, and, friends we know, like, again, those that transition that was close to the family, them too, because I got that in my family, had a sister that was very near and dear to the family, and she was far from a friend. She was family. And it was one of those shockers, we didn't expect her to transition. I'm telling you, I don't forget things like that, so I'm just feeling real thankful, so, and, but I do want to get to a summary. And I thank that great divine for protecting one's children that I was talking about, my two daughters and my son, which is Andrea, Naya, and Elijah. And as I said, they're living in different states, country, cities, and whatnot. But I will, I've dealt with it. I've come at peace with God with it, and I know what I gotta do. And when the time comes, I'll be ready. I'll do it. And just be there. So we just got to be honest with ourselves. That's the man, and just be thankful. The power of thankfulness. So I want to read a summary, have a meditative moment, because I've been talking about reading a lot. Again, look for the book sessions. The Contender. The last session was episode 4. It was really supposed to be episode 5. I kind of made a mistake, but I just left it episode 4. So the next one will be episode 5 of the book Contender, and I've been reading it, and I'll be talking more about volunteering and stuff like that. Just keeping everybody updated. On what that great divine has called me to do, and so many others. And it could be small or big, because it's not just one particular thing, and it's not always about having a platform. It's all about what we feel in our heart, and that's brothers and sisters, family, in the world and online. Sending this energy out to all, the whole world. We got to think like that. If we talk about energy, let's be real with it. Let's do it. Don't think about it. Don't analyze, don't overanalyze. Just lock on to that great divine, Mama Nature, and just go with it. As long as it's righteous, it's not hurting ourselves or no one else, because we commit evil acts. I'm talking about intentionally, and we're aware of it, and we're healthy, and we know we're doing it. It's just a matter of time for that evil thing that we did come back. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. All right, now I want to get to this summary. I want to read about the power of thankfulness, and it's a deep subconscious thing, and it connects to our immune system. I always talk about how positive energy, and even scientists know this. I'm not trying to act like I know everything. This is real. How we think deep in our subconscious will manifest in our physical life, whether it's good or bad. So as my son Lord Lamont like to say, take it with a grain of salt. Hey, commit evil acts and don't think nothing is going to come of it. Okay, I feel sorry for you. You're gonna be stuck in that cycle, you know. Especially us as black folks, and a lot of us speak on this. We gotta get out of that toxic ass cycle and just thinking things are all right when they're not. You know, and this for me too now. So a lot of times I'm learning too when I'm speaking. You know, like I say, stay in that student spirit. You know, you won't miss a thing. You know, so all right. I want to get to this summary for my current subscriber, new subscribers, anybody that views. Salute. All right, because reading is good, keeps the mind sharp. And, you know, as we get up in age, you know, our memory tends to deteriorate. So we got to read and do things to sharpen it, as well as taking vitamins and doing things natural for our body, watch how we eat. All those things play a part too. You know, again, this is for me too. All right, let's get to this summary. The power of thankfulness refers to the ability of expressing gratitude and significantly improve one's overall well-being and as well as others that we are connected to by shifting focus to positive aspects of our lives, leading to increased happiness, stronger relationships, whether friendships or romantic relationships or family relationships. We talking about all. Better resilience in the face of challenges. We get better at it over time. Time is the best teacher. All right. And even potential physical health benefits. Remember I said how we think connects to our immune system. It's not a joke. You know, it really isn't. Now, being positive can't cure everything, but it's damn sure a great place to start, you know, because once you get lost in stress and worry and all that, it's like a domino effect, but a toxic domino effect. All right. Essentially, actively appreciating what you have can transform your perspective and elevate our quality of life. And this goes back to what my son, Lord Lamont, and I talk about affirmations. We always, when I wake up, you know, sometimes I might not do it every time I wake up because I don't want to make it like I do it. But at some point of the day or course of the day, I thank that great divine. I do it. I thank him, you know, for getting me out of something or keeping me from a bad choice I, you know, might have made, or keeping me out of something that where I have to challenge my integrity and all that. You know, just again, you know, like I like to say, when we don't have wrong intentions and we're not, you know, trying to commit, you know, evil acts or do any harm, we have nothing to worry about and just do the best we can, and just know that we are not perfect as human beings. But most of us that do have a heightened awareness, we know this. Most of our empaths, brothers or sisters, male or females, we know this. But one thing I think a lot of us, you know, as well as my son and, you know, and members of my family, maybe brothers and sisters in the world and online, maybe even some of those that listen to me and subscribe, we're empaths, but we all are generals. We ain't soft. You know, it's like a different level of empaths now. Now we ain't taking no shit, and it's unfortunate that we have to do that, but you have to be like that, because unfortunately you have individuals that take your kindness for weakness. It's sad, but the truth. It's one of them hard pills, you know. And my son sent me a clip. Man, it really made me think. It really did. It was a clip he sent from a brother named, I think it's Wallo, Wallo. And this brother said the realest. I gotta cuss. I gotta put the. He said the realest shit I've ever heard, and it was on a show that many people like, you know, and watch, and it was real. And I was like, it's one of them hard pills, man. Truth is a mother hubber. You can't get around that truth. That's why I always say, for me too, folks. Real talk. So, you know, I try to be positive as well as my son, Lord Lamont. But we have our battles too. We have things that we fight with. Things we experience, you know. When me and him speaking, a lot of times, sometimes he might be going through something. Sometimes I might be going through something. But we hold it together and we lock together, and we like feed off each other's power, positive energy, you know. And it's wonderful because my son and I have come a long way too. You know, me and him and I, we haven't had the best relationship. And it was a long time where I didn't see him, you know, since he was a little boy. And we reunited about 5-6 years ago, I think. It might be I might have the math off a little bit. But it was a while, and we reconnected, and it was a little rough because he hadn't seen me in a while, and we didn't know each other, and it took some. We kind of went through that hazing phase, when a mother or a father, I mean not a mother, but a father or a son haven't seen, each other for a while, and haven't seen each other for a while, and and we had to go through that hazing phase, but we got through it, and we didn't really get in a fight or nothing like that, just a little disagreement, and it had to happen though. It was one of them things that had to happen. But now we dealt with each other's issues and what he had. It needed to come out, and I had to be ready for that, as well as I'm ready for my daughters and my other son, which is, like I said, Naya, Andrea, and Elijah. I have to be ready for that when that comes. So I'm ready for that too. So we got through it. We ended up connecting. We made songs together, and now we're speaking. And it was a lot of hidden things he was dealing with. Of course, he hadn't seen his dad in a while. Of course, I didn't have real, bad issues with my dad, but of course, I was seeing my dad though. He didn't live with us, but he was in my life, so it was a different situation than Lord Lamont and I. So, but we're good now, and it made us stronger. And he's a very intelligent young brother, and his mother did real well with him. And maybe one day we'll speak on that. We'll speak on his mom. So his mom has done real well with him, and I'll even be honest. And this was back. And his mom is white. I will say that his mom is white, and so that's why I say he was born in. His mom is white, not was white. She is white, but she was a good mother. She's done everything. She's never done nothing. It's just a regular. We just didn't get along. It just didn't work out. It wasn't nothing real tragic or nothing. It just didn't work out. And this was back in the 90s. That's why I said. My son has got the best of both worlds. He was born way before the social media age, and so he got a little bit of the old school mixed with the new school. So, and he's a very intelligent brother, very streetwise, and he's kind of book wise too. He knows some things, and we connect. Connect with a lot of things he told me. I don't know. We feed off each other's energy in a righteous way, and we learn from each other, and we elevate, and it's been wonderful. So. And he's been, man, I'm telling you, he's very resilient and very strong, because he walking the streets of Milltown, even in the wintertime, man. I'm telling you, so he's conquered Milwaukee. Just my opinion, if you can make it in the Milltown, you can make it anywhere, But I know there's other cities that's probably way, that's tough too. I'm just saying. Milltown can be tough. So you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So my son has learned God brought him here, and God also brought me here, because a lot of my family is here in the Milltown. So I told my son on a podcast that I always felt this magnetic pull towards Milwaukee. I've been coming here off and on since I was a kid. I always knew I was going to live here one day. And look, now my son's living here. Again, I always say, we never know as beings what's going to happen down the road. But that great divine always knows, brothers and sisters, if we just stay on the straight and narrow and pay attention to those aha moments and those divine moments and learn about it, go deeper into it and go with it, and we got to be righteous, somewhat righteous, until we get to a stable state of awareness, because we're in this human body. We're going to do things sometimes, but be thankful. The power of thankfulness, be thankful. We have children, they're alive and breathing. Be thankful for our reachers and teachers that's doing things, and we got to stop looking at them as just talking heads, that they are human beings. They go through real lives too. I've heard stories, from brothers and sisters. They are human beings too. So that's something I had to learn. We learn and grow. Be thankful if we in that space, the power of thankfulness. So that was something that was in my spirit. And I did have a page I wanted to read out of my book. I call it a book, Unlocking the Vault, but I'm gonna save it for the next podcast my son and I do, which will be within a couple hours or so, because I'm sure he on his way here, so that's just something that was in my spirit. Hope I didn't miss nothing. Hope that was everything I was feeling a lot this morning. I was just feeling positive energy in one's soul, and something my son inspired me too, and so we'll be speaking later on, and thank those for coming in, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that viewed. Thank you for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion. I forget to say that at the beginning. I be meaning to say that, but I be so excited to speak sometimes, and kind of getting into this. When you start getting passionate about something, it could be anything, not just speaking, but it's wonderful when we can speak it and it's coming from the pits of that soul righteously, and because that's where that great divine resides, and all of us have it. We all have a great divine, a great divine ability and or quality. It's just a matter of tapping into it and being the powerful beings that we are. So again, thank those for coming in, brother, sister, family, and look for the father and son discussion within. It'll be today. It'll be sometime today, if not in the near future. So again, what we harbor inside, if it's positive, we got to keep that's where that's the basis of keeping that immune system strong. Again, I'm telling you, a lot of us are living this. I'm telling you, brother and sister, those who have reached a heightened self-awareness, I'm talking about younger or older, we know this, but we have to live it, practice it, and and sidestep the so-called matrix. Real talk. So thank those for coming in. I thank you. The power of thankfulness, and this is for my brothers, my sisters, family, generals, my biological children, my godchildren, the mothers and fathers out there. Stay with it, and may we all keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, or should I say our part of the world, wherever we are right now. Salute.